Alright, welcome. This is a video on how I make my tokens, my workflow for tokens for tabletop roleplay games using Photoshop. I have a border here, I just sort of inserted it. I'll put this template in the description somewhere, but I've got several different borders, and we'll be using this red one here. And then I have a just a white background that I've chopped, a black background that I've chopped, and then a pure black background, which we'll be using to just test my masks and stuff. So here is my workflow. I generally have this already going, and then I find an image. So I'm actually building the token for the Imperial Shadow Guard. So I looked that up and found art that I like. I'm just going to copy this image, come into Photoshop, and paste it. We'll bring it right below my token border in the layer panel so I can position it, because I like to have these pop out a bit. This is really great art. We got that red saber, and we got his cloak kind of deal, so we can really get a sense of how it's going to pop out. We'll probably have the cloak part, the stick, the red part, and maybe I'd like to make it a little bit bigger, but we want to keep that tip of the pike in. So it's going to be right about here, give or take, because I want the cloak right about there. Okay. So I have it more or less positioned. I'm looking at the edge of this back stick, the front here. The cloak is all in the frame. We'll probably bring this bit out, maybe. So have it positioned in place, and then I am going to do a mask to create the part that's going to be above this token layer. So go into my, I don't even know what this is called, my quick select tool, have it on the plus. I'll make it a little bit bigger, make sure I'm selected on this layer, and just start choosing what I'm masking. It's not a big deal if it's not totally accurate, but you want to make sure everything's included. I could probably cut this bit a little bit more. It's going to be picky about it. I think that black staff will even be more picky, but if it has a little extra, it's not a big deal. We could trim that out. We'll take this with us just because it's easier to do now than piece it out later. Again, I can leave this, and I could check here by toggling this layer. I could leave that piece to take care of later, or if it's easy enough, take care of it now. So I'm going to get into the details a little bit, which means smaller selection tool. And this will be pretty detailed, so we won't, I'll show you how to get rid of some of this extra stuff later. And then of course the lightsaber bit. So we'll choose that. Maybe make it a little bit more of the glow and stuff. I don't want to take up too much time on finding the glow later, so I'm going to trim that back, and you'll see sort of how I go about with glows and stuff later, but don't need it all. I'm going to get a little bit more of that tip there. Okay, we'll figure the rest out later. Let's check the border. See, we really only need this, but we're going to chop out the background too, since the token will have that transparency. So looks like I got my staff. I've got everything I need for the border. So we're gonna right click, select and mask. I've got 0 pixels for my radius, smart radius. You can check out these settings, but I don't really mess with them. Once they're set, they're set. So I'm gonna hit OK. It is going to put it into a new layer because that's my setting. And I can already tell there's some masking stuff, so I have an eraser tool where I can sort of see any straggling pieces that might have been picked up. I'm going to move it above the token layer and just check that piece out. And there we go, it sort of pops out, right? So we got some cleaning up to do, and that is to be expected. But I'd like to sort of get rid of this, this background here. And the easy, I mean, I could sit here and erase it all, but I choose this ellipses tool, kind of come from the corner. Again, I'm selected on this layer. Once I have it on the border, I select the inverse. That's a right click, select inverse, and then just press delete. There we go. That entire background. So you can see a couple of pieces here that we're going to clean up. This is where this black layer in the background can be helpful to toggle on and off to see, like this little red here. It's probably on this top layer. We'll just click my erase tool just to get rid of that piece. But I would not have seen that otherwise. It looks like down here. So we're going to get rid of this a little bit differently than the erase tool, which I could show you right now. So magic eraser. It's under the eraser options. It's a long click magic eraser tool. Can sort of take care of some of that extra stuff. It did take away too much though. Actually, yep, there we go. So I don't want to take away all of that. So I might need the eraser tool for that one. Just make it quite a bit smaller and get rid of some of that. Let's take away the black layer so we could see a little bit. So usually Magic Eraser Tool is pretty good about this stuff. Not so much for that today. Now, as you do this, you don't have to be super perfect because we're going to go down to the blur tool and just blur that a bit. Oops, that's too much blur. Let's shorten it a little bit. And the hardiness, strength of the blur, we're going to shorten that a bit down. Just blurring the edges a little bit, just to make it so it doesn't look all scraggly, and from far away doesn't matter. Okay, then we got this piece here. This will probably be taken care of with a Magic Eraser tool. Nope, too much. Magic Eraser did not like that. Again, usually it works, but in this case we are just too much similar colors. Something like that, and again, I like to blur it a bit. Otherwise we get that really harsh edge. So just a soft blur, and then here it's probably going to be blurred quite a bit. I want to make these red lines even on each side though, so that's probably going to take a regular eraser tool. Just keep it trimmed up a bit. There we go. That's pretty good there. I'm spending way too much time on this because it's a tutorial and I want it to look good, but I usually don't. Let me make this slightly bigger. I think I'm good with the 50 or so % hardiness because you can go over it a couple times. And that really makes it a little bit nicer. All right, let's check the cloak real quick. Looks pretty good. He's popped out. That edge looks good. I thought there was something there that needed to be fixed. There we go. We could check the transparency, making sure I'm not missing any pieces. The saber thing looks great. Yeah, I'd say that's done. Simple as that. So I'm going to file, save as. He is going to be my Imperial Shadow Guard. So new folder for Imperial Shadow Guard and save it as a PNG. Oops. Imperial Shadow Guard token. And lastly, I open up my Xend convert and add the Imperial Shadow Guard just to move it from PNG to WebP. Come into Foundry where I'm creating folders because I like to use top-down tokens sometimes. So Imperial Shadow Guard folder, so that way he has his own folder. Again, finding Imperial Shadow Guard, the WebP version. Bada boom, bada bing, we whip out our Imperial Shadow Guard, and there we have it. And that is my workflow. Let's see if we could do one more for the sake of, let's find something a little bit. Let's see if we could find maybe a Nogri warrior. So I like to have a little bit of, this one's not bad. I don't like the characters in the background, but you know, once you get sort of an eye for how much work you have to do, this might be my best option. This guy's okay. He's a little small on the size, but yeah, the image that you choose determines the rest of the work. So yeah, we're gonna go with the easy one for this guy. Maybe this one. That image is small too, so yeah, I think this one might be our best. I could probably take the big one. All right, I'll take the big one. So again, coming into here, I'm gonna pop it in with a paste. And as you can see, I still have the other stuff there. So I'm gonna come in here, delete those layers. Boom, boom, move him under the token. I'm gonna do this one a little faster so that way you could see sort of the workflow. So I want him to be positioned to where maybe his hands pop out a bit, his head pops out. I could probably make him a little bit bigger. There we go. Select his head. Again, I'm not too worried about the white. Just make sure what I need is selected. This hand's definitely popping out. Sure, that's okay. You could take everything you want. Selector tool. All right, not bad, not bad. All right, do I want the other hand? Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna need a little bit more of his wrist too. Oops. Okay, and we'll take this hand, sure. Yeah, we could always can send it back if we don't need it. All right, right click, select and mask, pop it up above, bada boom, bada bing, come over here, selector tool for the ellipses, select inverse, delete, check my background. I'm sure I got some extra stuff. This is perfect. So easy eraser tool, I've got to select my top layer because this is definitely the top layer. Zoom in a little bit, that's fine. I could blur that if I wanted, just to make it look decent. And then there's a bit of white up here I'm noticing, which should be easily fixed with the magic eraser tool. There we go. I have it set to be done in little bits, and I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit more with a blur function just to make it more decent. Yeah, that's all right. All right, does the hand look all right? See, I can get rid of some of this if I wanted to. It doesn't look too bad, but this magic eraser tool is really to help clean up these types of lines and stuff, but sometimes it makes it just a little sharp. So but there we go, we got this guy sort of all set in a matter of seconds. Save him as my, what did we call him? Nogri warrior. We'll copy that again. I like to have them universally lowercase. Is that N-O-H? N-O-G-H. underscore token. Save it as the smallest size, open up my xconvert, add the file, under warrior, convert, Foundry, click, add a folder for Nogri warrior. There he is. Thanks for watching.